The bathroom's right over here, Rich.
All right, so what's going on?
Well, the toilet had been working fine, but then we had a clog one day and I couldn't get to it right away. But then I noticed that there was water dripping on the ceiling beneath.
Underneath, okay.
Underneath.
All right, do you see any water here on the floor?
No, there was no water here at all.
All right, so then what'd you do?
I cleared the clog and it's been fine ever since, but now I'm worried that there might be something more going on underneath.
Kind of nerve-wracking, isn't it?
Yes.
All right, well, I think I know what the problem is, but I can't really show you what's going on underneath that toilet up here. Let me show you down in the truck. I brought along a little marker.
Okay, great.
So here is the outside of a toilet bowl. You can see the bowl right here. And the water leaves the bowl through this thing called a trapway. See how it goes up like this, and then down around, and it goes out through the bottom. But let me just spin it around. This is actually a half cutaway. Let me just tip it down. So now, here's the bowl, and here's that trapway where the water goes up and around and out through the bottom.
Why is it shaped like that?
Well, this is called a siphon jet toilet, and it's the standard toilet for many, many years. So to have a siphon, you need to have a short leg. That's this piece right here, and then it has to have a long leg. And that's from this point all the way down here. Once the water goes up over this hill, the short leg, it's pulled down the long leg, and that means that liquids and solids will leave the bowl. Now what it does is it leaves through the bottom of the bowl, and it connects to the plumbing system with this. This is a closet flange, and that'll attach to the bottom of the toilet itself. Here's a closet bend. Now this is plastic. I don't know if yours is lead or cast iron or even copper, and this attaches. Now normally the stoppages that happen inside of a toilet happen up here inside the trapway, but I don't think that's what happened with you. I think it happened down here.
Why do you think that?
Well, if it happened up here, think about what would happen. If this was clogged, the water would have nowhere else to go but backwards within the toilet itself, and it would just lift up here. You said you saw liquid down through the ceiling, so it means the stoppage must have been down here. Because if it happened that way, it would have backed up here and it would have challenged the one gasket that we have in this system. Underneath the toilet bowl is a wax seal like this. And so normally that wax seal has very little pressure. The water goes right by, but as soon as there's a stoppage right here, what does it do? It pushes pressure backwards, and it's going to leak out right here and down where you saw it in the ceiling. So I think this was your culprit. So I want to remove this toilet, and to do that I'm going to turn off the water, get all the water out of the bowl, and then pull the toilet. So the shutoff valve is right here. Turn that clockwise. Okay. So now if I flush the toilet tank, most of the water will leave the tank and go out through the bowl. So now we have to get the rest of this water out of the tank. Now I'm just going to move that float out of the way. That gives me a little more room to get down and get a sponge in there to get the last of the water out of it. You want to get most of the water out. You don't have to get every last drop. You just don't want it to spill on the floor when we move the toilet out of the way. I now have to disconnect these two bolts down here. You can see one here and one on the other side, and that connects the bowl down to the flange. But look at this, I actually see a little crack in the toilet. Did you do that? All right, let's see how they come out. These are brass bolts. Okay, so there's one. Let's see how this one does. Now this one, oh boy, look at that one. That one's all rusted. Like I won't even accept my open and wrench. Let's try the pliers. All right, so both the nut and the bolt are just spinning around, so that'll never come off. So I've got to cut it off. This is a little bayonet saw, a little hacksaw, mini hack. All right, because it's brass, I can actually get it to break off. Okay, good. So now we need to break this water connection right here. And there might be a little bit of water in the pipe. So I just want to catch that with a rag. So that's the last of the connections. Now I'm just going to clear away, and we're going to move this toilet out of the room. I'm going to go that way. Okay, so here is that old wax seal right here. What I'm going to do is pry it off. All right, so here's the old wax seal. Didn't come out all at once, so let's get rid of the rest of it. All right, so look at this here. You know, normally a closet flange is designed to sit right down on the tile like this, right? Mm-hmm. But look at this. It looks like that this bathroom's been remodeled. Was it?
We did a remodel about 10 years ago.
All right. So when they did, you can see the subfloor down here, and they did a nice mud job, and they built that tile floor up to this level. But look way down here. There's the old cast iron flange. Now that should be up here, and it's way down here. Mm-hmm. So what they did, the installers, they added a series of spacers, it looks like. Now those spacers aren't watertight, so if you had that stoppage down there, it could actually leak out through these things and through the seal. So I'm going to have to expose this and see what we got.
Okay.
Yikes. There ain't no flange there. Look at the old cast iron flange is completely rotted away.
Sure has. What do we do now?
I think the only right way to do it is to actually break away the remnants of this old flange and connect properly to that cast iron pipe. I hope I have that part in the truck. There you go. That hasn't seen the light of days in about 100 years. So now I just got to clean up the outside of the pipe. All right, so we got it all cleaned up, and you can see the old cast iron bend right here. So I was planning on putting a new cast iron flange on, just like the old one. And then with that, I would have to take this oiled hemp and pack it down in all the way around. Then we would heat up the lead in this ladle and then pour that into the joint and then pack that. But look at this. This pipe is so extra wide, extra heavy from back in 1880 that it doesn't fit the modern sizes. So I can't even get that down there. So that's out. Then I said, all right, I'll just go with this. This is a modern version of it, which has 4 screws, stainless screws, that I can tighten up this gasket. But look, same issue, too fat on the outside. So fortunately, they make this. This is a device with a gasket right here and 4 Allen screws, and when you tighten up those Allen screws, you actually make this gasket get bigger, so I'll make the seal on the inside of the pipe. So for that, I go right down here, and then I'll just tighten up these things, and I'll get it right at the right height, and we'll be perfect, a nice tight seal.
Great.
I'm glad they make this.
Me too.
So now I want to put a couple of spacers in, just to hold it at the right height in relation to the floor. And then I want to be sure that the keyway right here is just the perfect location for our bolts. Good. And now we tighten it up. Look at that. That is not going to leak. All right, we are solid in place, and now it's time to make the connections. These are called closet bolts, and they go right into the keyway right there. One on each side. Okay, and now we got to make a nice tight seal. Now I've always used these. These are wax seals, and the issue with these is you take them out of your truck in the summer and they're just about melted, and in the winter they're rock hard. Today what I'm going to use is this. This is a flexible gasket, and this has a lot of advantages. It makes a nice positive seal to the underside of the toilet. It can also be reused, repositioned. So we put that right down over there. All right, and now we get the toilet, and we are ready to put this back together again.
Great.
Just guide that from that side.
All set? Go ahead.
All right, so now we just put plastic washer first, then stainless washer, and brass nut. Let you just tighten them up. I'll get this side. All right, so you can see the new closet bolt is pretty long, so the cap would not fit. So we're going to use that mini hacksaw and just cut that brass bolt. All right, Kelly, water is back on, the tank is filled, but most importantly, we have a brand new flange connected to that old cast iron pipe. We've got a great connection to the bottom of this bowl. You will not have another leak.
Thank you.
All right, as is our custom on Access House, you should do the honors.
All right.
What do you think?
Wonderful. Thank you so much.